early retirement.
Yep, we have the early retirement policy in the packet. So that you remember, unless you decide not to have the policy is currently active and is still an approved policy by you. And so you would have to talk about not having the policy. I did send an email out to staff members, and there are, it looks like 5 people on the Sac district who are eligible, and eligibility would be determined by at least 55 years of age and at least 20 years of experience in Sac, Wall Lake, Lakeview Auburn, or East Sac County Schools. And for your information, I think Wall Lakeview Auburn has either 6 or 7 that are eligible, so each district has about the same. Last year, each district had 1 person who elected to take the retirement incentive. And this year, there were just 1 or 2 more people that had that age 55 requirement, so they kind of rolled into that eligibility group. Wall Lakeview Auburn didn't take any action. They really we're hoping that the 2 districts would do the same, and they also know that that isn't absolutely the last straw if the 2 districts decide to do different types of things. So
basically, the policy states that $15,000 to be retired by the time we get through this tax.
Yep. Yep.
As an incentive. Okay.
There, as I look at the people who are eligible in each of the 2 districts, each person would have to be replaced. It isn't likely to be reducing staff, which would have been a consideration a year ago, but we would be hiring back teachers that would be less expensive than they currently are as far as paycheck we write every month. The downside of that is that in a lot of the cases, you've got really good, solid teachers leaving, and everybody's got to hire rookies, but you're going to have some rookie teachers then, and that's just, it's expensive in the sense of time and effort to really get them rolling. And because just like the first year at any job, you're just new, and there's a steep learning curve. It would be one of the remaining things that you can do to reduce some expense without reducing teachers themselves. I really haven't had much conversation with anyone. I've had 1 teacher talk to me who I think might be interested, but that's, we didn't talk a lot just because the boards haven't made decisions yet. So. But I would say at your December board meeting at the latest, you should make a decision, because we're then getting to that point where we need to be knowing who we're going to offer contracts to, if they're not coming back. But we can, sort of like Dave talked about, with a lot of those positions anymore, they're shortage areas, especially high school level positions. You really want to get out there early looking for people too. So.
I move that we have our next meeting together in December. I also want to make sure that we have, in that same motion, I want to make sure we have a couple meetings for goals, so we get that taken in on our December meeting, so we got that taken care of. And then we gear in our January effort to get this taken care of with our Pell Roof, and that by ourselves. We gear it in and get it done and put it behind us.
Trust me, they don't want to listen to it.
Yeah. I hope it goes
okay. So what you're doing, are you actually making a motion?
I'll make that.
Do you want to make a motion?
I want to make a motion to amend that little thing we had for 1 per quarter, and then make sure we get that done together on early retirement, and also get our Pell thing taken care of in January. I want that all together, because I want to get it done.
To get our
rough situation taken care of with our January meeting.
Do we need to wait until January to do our early retirement, or can we do it tonight? If you're interested.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is there any reason why we couldn't approve that tonight if we're still for it?
If you can make a motion to continue it or to discontinue it, whichever, and you could make that decision tonight.
If this is in policy, if this is in actual policy now, and this is our incentive, do we need to make a motion?
No,
is that necessary?
No, it's currently policy.
Okay. So we can either reach a consensus that this is, we're going to keep the early retirement incentive, or do we have a problem with this? Or, you know, anybody have a problem with offering this? Brent, you went through negotiation, do you have?
The only problem I ever have is that if you just continue to keep going and going and going, I don't know whether or not it has it has the effect of giving them an incentive to retire when you kind of think you need them to, or just it's a $15,000 bonus when they're fed up.
So how many years has this been?
That's the way I look at it. It's like, I'm just tired of this crap. I'm just going to
What's
take
that?
the 15 grand.
How many years has this one
This
been
is
in
the
place?
second year that this one, last year was the first year, this is the second year that this policy has been in effect. And I don't, Brant, help me out.
We probably took
Right.
it away a couple times, and each time we took it away, or I don't want to say threatened to take it away, when we said this, we were not going to offer it the next year, that's when we had to take it that year, kind of deal. And that's kind of what happened.
Reverse psychology.
Well, I mean, I just
It
remember
actually
there were
worked
two
exactly.
teachers, we sat back, we had it like in place for 4 or 5 years while I was on the board, and had toyed around with not offering it or whatever, and I don't remember if it was the same rules or whatever, but it was an early retirement policy. And talked about it several years that we were thinking about taking it away, and then finally we decided we need to take it away for next year, but we're going to offer it this year still, and two teachers took it that time, I know for sure, so.
And then we did go a year without
Well,
it.
at least a year without.
It worked about the same way at Lakeview Auburn, just so you know. There was, you know, we're going to take it away the next year, and so 2 or 3 people took it, and then it was about 3 years, maybe 3 or 4 years, that it was not offered at all. And then I think last year again was maybe the first year at Lakeview Auburn, about because the 2 boards decided together to offer it in their joint policies. So,
Where does the money come from, Frank? From the general fund? Management. Okay. I guess, okay, if it's a policy that's in place now, unless you want to vote to take it off the table, it would be something that we could offer as is. And I don't know if anybody has heard of any teachers that would be looking for an incentive like this, but,
I think we should leave it on the table.
okay. There may be some that,
It might go a year or two longer.
unless we're looking for federal health care plans. What type of action do we need, anything? So the consensus that we leave it in place?
It's fine.